So logical file, and this example would be that you are sharing a logical file with them, but only limited columns, but all the data in those columns. Another example could be that the marketing team wants to know all the Wisconsin customers, everything about them. So you are selecting some of the records in their entirety and handing it over to the marketing team. So that is some of the all records. That's another example of a logical file that you can only tap into some of the records. Now comes the question, what if one of those Wisconsin residents moved to Illinois? Will the marketing team still be stuck with the old record set? No. Logical file never holds the data. Every time you query it, it queries the physical file. So if the data is updated in the physical file in the next run, it will show you that that customer doesn't exist in the logical file anymore because that person moved to Illinois. So their state change, they're out of the loop, they're out of the data set. Similarly, these were examples of horizontal or vertical dissections. In some cases, you want a combination of both. You want all the customer IDs and their sales last month for the Wisconsin residents. So now you are grabbing some fields and some records from the entire data set. All of these things can be done in logical files. Physical files cannot filter the data. Logical files can filter the data that they're borrowing from the physical files. One more thing logical files can do, which we'll talk about next week probably, is that logical files can combine data sets from two different physical files. For example, one physical file has student ID and student's name. The other one has student ID and student grades. Now you want to generate a report on which you want to display student name and student grades. You cannot grab student's name from the grades. You cannot grab students' grades from the student's information. So now you can join the two on student ID and grab name from one resource and grab the grades for that student from another resource, put it together in one logical file and present it. Does that make sense? Okay, these are the kind of things you can do with logical files. Physical files can't do that. So that's why we will be spending 2 or 3 weeks just on logical files. Okay, so if you scroll down in this unit, which is unit number 8, there is a chapter PowerPoint. And there's another PowerPoint that I am providing you, which is some class notes I want to share with you guys. So if you open that PowerPoint on your end, just so that you can see what it is, and we will go over these 9 slides first. So what exactly is a logical file? Before we do that, you need to make sure that logical files cannot exist without a physical file object. So you have to create the physical file. Create means compile it successfully. It may or may not have data in it. Logical files basically borrow data from one or more physical file objects. It just borrows the data. It doesn't hold the data. Benefits of logical files include that you can limit the data access. So it gives you privacy, it gives you data security. And as I told you, you can have horizontal, means some records with all fields, vertical, all records with some fields, or both, a combination of the two. You will always get up-to-date records because logical file never holds the data. It always queries the physical file whenever you query it. It does not take up any disk space for data. That's another advantage. Disadvantages, it's an overhead because you have to spend extra time to generate the objects. And whenever you query a logical file, it queries all physical files that it is tapping into. But it's not that big of a deal. How do you go about creating a logical file? No different than how do you create a physical file. You need to have a library. You need to have a source physical file. and you simply create a member in it. The only difference is this member type will be LF. So if you're using Rational Developer for I, all you're doing is you're right-clicking on your source physical file. You're going to choose new member, and then you put your member name, and you choose LF instead of PF in the type. One more thing you have to do in logical file, and that is on slide number 6, that in the record format, before the record format, or maybe on the same line as the record format, you must have this function called pfile, which must call the physical file from where the logical file is borrowing the data from. That is required to be there on the very first line in the functions area. Pfile, the name of the physical file from where it is borrowing the data. Pfile object is the name of the physical file object where logical file object will borrow the data from. Logical file member will then list all fields it wishes to borrow. So it's up to the logical file. Here is an example on slide 8. First of all, logical file, look at the very first line. Record format, same way as physical file. This new thing in the functions area, pfile, in the parentheses, you write the name of the physical file from where the data gets borrowed. And all you need to do after that, just simply list the field names. That's it. Whichever fields you want to borrow. When you want, after you're done with this, you save the changes for the logical file. Okay. Look over here where I'm moving my mouse right now, that inside your source physical file, your logical file will be created exactly like your physical file member is created. No difference between the way they're created. The only difference is that when you're creating them, the fields don't have description, they're borrowed description, and you simply say, this is the name of the physical file where I'm borrowing the data from. Once you're done, you need to go to the compile menu, compile. Notice you don't have change LF as an option. That means you can only create a logical file. If you want to make changes to the logical file and recreate it, you have to first delete the old one, and then you got to recreate the new one. You cannot change, like you can change a physical file. You can change the source code and recompile. You can't do that stuff with this one. You have to delete it and then recreate it. Well, this is a bit of an older presentation. So we used to use a different tool before called System I Navigator, but something very similar can also be seen in RDI. So when you go to the database developer, where you see tables, that's where we looked at the physical files last time. Instead of going to tables, if you go to views, that's where the logical files are listed. So logical files are listed under views, physical files are listed under tables. So that's basically the basics of the logical files. Okay. Now, looking at your book, page number 333, which is right past figure 8.2. I want you to read pages 333, which is the heading logical files, all the way before the next heading, which is describing simple logical files. So page 333 and the top part of page 334. Any questions about logical files from page 333, 334, before we move on to describing a simple logical file? A simple logical file is exactly like the way I showed you in the PowerPoint that I shared with you earlier, that on the very first line, you need to have a record format with a name, and then you need to call the p file function, and then you need to list the name of the file that you want to borrow the data from. Okay. Now, if you look at page 335, in this example, are there any fields listed? This is figure 8.3 on page 335.
I see two key formats and a record format, but no.
But no fields are listed where you are borrowing the data from. So then what in the world is the purpose of this logical file? The purpose of this logical file is this. First of all, if you are planning on borrowing all the data from a physical file, then rule number one, the name of your record format must be exactly the same as the one in the physical file. The record format name, EMP/PFR, that will match 100% with the name that is in the physical file. In that case, all you need to do is just write p file EMP/PF, which is the name of the physical file, and all the fields with all the data will be borrowed during runtime. Now comes the question, why in the world would you create such a logical file? Now, let's say the physical file was indexed on employee ID. And now a request comes in that we want you to create a physical file where last name and first name should be the matter of search. You should index on the last name and first name. Instead of going back to the physical file and updating it and recreating the object and adding all the data back to it, rather what you can do is you can create a logical file which can borrow everything from the physical file and can just simply change the key. So if anybody queries this logical file, it has an index on last name and first name. So that could be a reason for somebody to create a logical file where you're still processing all the data, but using a different index. What's the advantage of having an index? The advantage of having an index is you have a faster retrieval rate. That's it. Just for the faster retrieval rate, you want to create a logical file with different key combinations. Okay, so that's all this does. So what we will do is we will create a physical file today in RDI. We will populate it with some data. We will try working with an example similar to this one, where we will use a logical file to borrow everything on a different key. We will write a logical file which will borrow some of the fields, but everything. Then we will use the selection criteria that will be talked about from slides 24 onwards, or in your book, the author talks about it from page 339 onwards. We'll talk about that, how you can select only some of the records or some of the fields and some of the records. So we'll talk about that kind of stuff once we do our basic logical files. Okay, so to get started, again, we will log into V2 Cloud. And once we are in V2 Cloud, we will open the rational developer for I, not the ACS. And remember, I told you that we click OK on the workspace. It is generally used if you're planning on saving your files to the local computer. I mean, like within the V2 cloud, not on the IBM machine. And then we will let the IBM Rational Developer tool to load. So it should have loaded a bit faster for you today than compared to last week, where it had to set up environment.
I have a question. How do you get the remote systems tab on the left?
The remote system tab, what do you have there?
I have nothing. I just have I'm in the RDI, but I have Death Star, the green screen up.
Can you share your screen? Let me see what you have, because it's
Yeah.
difficult for me to visualize.
You might be on the wrong perspective.
That's what I'm
Perspective.
kind of thinking, but let's see if I can direct her better. Oh, just double click on the tab.
This one?
Uh-huh. And then bring your mouse on the left-hand side between the bar, the little bar. Does it let you, that white little bar? No, the white vertical bar. Take your mouse further right, just a little bit to the right.
Oh,
Is there anywhere where it gives you an option to stretch? Like if you take it slightly left? No? Okay, click that little restore icon. No. Okay, right underneath the dots at the top, you see a little dotted, yeah, click that restore. No, okay, double click on it again. The tab, double click the tab. Okay, so hold on a second.
On the bottom right of the screen, that little thing on the side here looks like a minimize.
Because all of these things are open, but they are on the tabs here. Okay, if you go to the top right corner, do you see that gray server symbol in the top right corner? Top right. Top right. Yeah, click on that gray server. Yeah. Here you go.
okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, everybody else is ready, right? So give me a green check that you're ready, and then we will just dive into creating our physical files.
Mine look a little bit different from yours. Mine is showing like the schemas and all of that stuff.
Oh,
So-
because you are still in the data source explorer. So in the top right corner,
Uh-huh.
click that gray computer icon, the tower icon. And
Oh, I
that,
got it.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then I go to objects or what?
No, yeah. So you open the objects, then open the library list, and then log in. And then you'll be able to see your library, open that.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Louis, how about you? Okay, cool, awesome. So now let's right click on the source physical file, which is FA22, your initials 1, and go to new and click on member. Right, everybody with me on that, right? Okay, now we're going to create a member called EMP FA22 initials. EMP FA22 and your initials. Notice that the library name and the file name is grayed out because you right clicked on the file, it knows the file. The file is in the library, it knows the library. Where do I click next?
Member type?
Member type, where it says blank. And then how can I choose PF?
You can press the P button.
Yep, the quickest way would be to press the P key on the keyboard, and that will jump to the PF. And as soon as it jumps to the PF is selected in the member type, and you hit finish, okay? Chris, you okay?
I don't know. I got the EMP22 in my initials, but it's got a .rpgle.
Yeah,
after.
that's what you need to change. You click on where it says blank, asterisk blank, click there, and then on the keyboard, press the letter P.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Okay, can you share your screen? That way I will know what you're looking at.
Sure.
Oh, you actually went too far ahead. So why don't you close this tab? Close the tab. No, first close the tab. No, the tab on the right-hand side. No, the tab where it says emp22ck.rpgle.
Yeah.
No, not the file, the tab. The tabs. You see the tabs listed in the middle of your screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, close the tab. Okay. Now right click on that emp22ck.rpgle and delete that. Okay, hit delete. Okay. Now right click on your source physical file again and go to new member. Okay. Okay, now where you see blank under type to choose, and now press P on the keyboard.
Key.
P as in parrot. Yes.
Yep.
Now hit finish.
Okay.
Okay, so I think you went for finish with the default settings, and that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so everybody can see my screen here. And this is where you hit finish. And your physical file member is created. Once your physical file member loads, how do you open the source prompter? There are two ways. Either you press F4 or the source prompter tab, if it's available down below already, you can just simply click on that. Either way, you get to the source prompter. Either you click on the first line and press the function F4 key, or down in the source prompter, okay? Now in the functions, I will type unique, enter. Chris, are you lost again? You're muted. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. Okay. Okay, now we choose the record format. Yeah. RECMP is enough. What data type do I use for date?
Isn't it L?
Cool. So once I'm done with coding, what do I do next?
You
Wow.
save.
Okay, very good. I save. Okay, what do I do next?
Compile.
Compile. Okay. Which of the two compiles should I pick?
Create.
The first one, and then I choose create PF. What does this means in the error list when I get this warning?
It compiled correctly.
No. It doesn't mean that.
You have no errors in the code?
I have no syntax errors. That's all it means. Whether the object was created or not, where do I go to check for that?
Commands log?
Commands log. And then I scroll to the bottom of commands log, and it should tell me the member was added to the same name. What does that mean? The member was added to the object. That's what it's trying to tell me, that the member is now transformed into an object. Okay, I need green checks from you guys as soon as you can get that far. Three people to go. Or two people to go now. One person to go. Chris, any issues? You're muted, by the way.
Almost there. I think I need to correct a few things, but
Okay,
hold on a second.
that remind me, I pranked our old dean once in the meeting. I had my microphone unmuted and everything was ready to go. But I was just moving my lips, not speaking. And he's like, "Oh, you're muted." I'm like, "No."
I want to work with you.
Oh yeah.
That just reminds me of this video I saw once where this dude, there was like 4 people in a Zoom call for a business meeting, and one of them just like is in the middle of talking and then they suddenly stop moving. And he's like, the boss is like, I know you're still there. I see the fan behind you moving. Whatever. All right, Jim, what are you doing next? Well, you see what we got to do is, Jim, I just saw your wife walk behind you. Still have errors, Chris?
I think I'm okay. I'm gonna give you a green check right now. Sorry.
Okay, cool. So we will now transition to the database explorer, the data explorer, which we do through by clicking those blue cylinders in the top right corner. And once we are there, we need to sign into Death Star again. The reason you need to sign into Death Star again, because now it's a different perspective. It doesn't remember what you did in the previous perspective. So that's why you need to double click on it, and it then recognizes you that you have a live session. So it will then let you access the schemas and tables, and you should then be able to locate EMPFA 22 initials as one of the objects. So you right click on that object, you go to data, and then you click edit.
I'm sorry, how did you get to that data source explorer again? I'm sorry.
In the top right corner, you'll see 2 blue cylinders. If you do not see them over there, then you can go to the window menu. You can go to perspective, open perspective, other, and then you can click on database development and click OK.
Okay, for some reason I did that and it didn't show up.
Didn't show anything?
Yeah, I'm missing my tab for that too.
Okay, let's do this.
Well, like mine does something, it just doesn't pull up that side menu at all.
Mine's not showing the file again either. I'm beginning to understand why people would go back to the green screen because this is getting really frustrating.
Yeah, it sometimes can act weird. Absolutely. What
I just, sorry, I was just gonna tell him I just clicked on mines and then I refreshed. I did a right click and refreshed it and then mine showed up in there.
Where did you right click and refresh, Desmond?
Right on the little cylinder, I double clicked it first and then I just, when it showed up on the left side, I just right clicked on that and refreshed it.
Yeah, the problem is they don't see that left-hand side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That worked
Oh
for
no, I
me.
do. I just
did
can't.
that.
Oh, you just can't what?
Mine, so when I did mine, it showed the homework that I did just before class started because it wasn't there before. But now what we just worked on isn't showing up. And I actually double checked this time. It's not in here because it's alphabetical. And I see the EMP1, which is what I named my homework, but the EMP FA22 is not here. And I know it went properly.
Okay, let's do one thing. Share your screen and let me show you. You can do one more thing about that.
All right, hold on. I want to triple check to make sure that it properly compiled.
Okay.
It's loading. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm not seeing mine either, so
Okay, I will also let you share yours
All right, hold on.
after Jared.
how did you?
This one, right? Yeah. So here's my homework EMP1, but
Okay, if you go back to the other perspective, okay, and go to the commands log.
I'm on the commands log. It's not showing anything now.
Okay,
I did not crash on me, but my internet disconnected for like half a second and I had to relog in, so that might be part of it.
do one thing. End the maximizing of the command log by double clicking on it.
Yep, I already got it.
Close RDI and reopen it.
I just did.
Oh, you just
I'll
did.
try
Okay.
again. Yeah.
Okay, let's try again.
Because that's what I did to get EMP1 to show up because it wasn't showing up before either.
Okay. Since it's an extra layer on top of that, sometimes it just goes up. So yeah, let's go back.
There it
So
is.
it's EMP1. No, this is my homework. I named it EMP1 because I wasn't sure what to name the member.
Oh, EMP FA20. Okay, can
Yeah,
you go
EMP.
back? Can you go back to the RSE? Yeah. And then open that EMP and go ahead and recompile it. Let's see what it
Okay.
does.
Pile.
Really? It's not doing anything on your end.
I thought you had to be clicked inside the little thing
Click
before
on.
you compile, like on where the unique and all of that stuff is.
Oh, he already had it there. Otherwise it would not have it enabled. Oh, he basically did it a different way. You could also right click on the
Oh,
member.
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So click
You see
OK.
the, okay.
Yeah. Okay. let's see.
Ben file contain no errors.
And the member was, oh, so it was not created before.
Oh, it must have crashed when I did it
Yes,
then, because I know
yeah.
it said added to added to library and everything.
Okay, now right click on tables and, oh.
Yep. Hit refresh. Ah, damn it, I always forget the ITPA one. Yeah, here it is now.
Okay, cool, awesome. So let's move to Angelica, do you have it?
Yeah, I'm all good. I had to reset mine.
Okay, and Chris.
No, I don't know what I'm.
Okay, can you share yours? Share your screen, please.
Yeah, I'll be honest. This program is really frustrating to get it to work right half the time. I was having so many problems when I was doing the homework with this thing. I almost want to go back to 5250.
Well, it seems like it's more of an internet issue for you.
No, that one was just an internet issue. When I was doing my homework, it was not an internet issue. It was 100% just constant problems with the site itself. It crashed on me twice in V2 Cloud.
Oh, dang. All right. Got you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's more like, you know, V2 Cloud is crashing and RDI is unable to complete the process. So the process is in RDI's memory. And before it could give it over to the server, the V2 Cloud is crashing. So it's more like some kind of, you know, issue outside of RDI.
Itself that's crashed, not the site itself or not V2 Cloud. Like
Oh, the actual product.
the actual program. Yeah, the actual
Oh.
program
Okay.
crashed twice.
Why does he have an A outside of the
Okay, now
an extra
go ahead
A?
and can you recompile this EMP22 for me?
Hold on. I think I spelled unique wrong, huh?
You and I.
Yeah, so fix that spell. See, that's probably it would have given you an error for that if you apply now. Hit apply at the bottom first so that it updates the file. Now save the changes. First save the changes and then compile it. Now you have to click in the source code. Okay, now compile it. Okay, now your commands log is outside. Do you see that command log window on top? At the bottom, do you see command log floating window at the bottom? Can you, yeah, can you drag it and drop it next to, drag it from the tab command log. Let it go for now. Okay, yeah, drag it from the command log tab and drop it next to source prompter. No, not at the top, next to source prompter. No, source prompter at the bottom.
Right in the middle of your screen. There you go.
Yeah, okay, cool. Now it is telling you, if you scroll up just a little bit on the right hand side, you see a scroll bar. Click on that scroll bar.
Yeah.
Yep. Hold on a second. Oh, no, not that much. We need to be able to see the error message. Okay, scroll down. Okay, now scroll only 2 lines up. 1, 2. Okay, the file was not created because of errors. Okay, scroll up again, 1 line. Okay, can you scroll down here for me? No, in the source code, sorry. Oh, also in the record format line, you have an extra A.
That's what I was telling you. He has an extra A over the.
Oh, go to the very first, yeah, that line and press F4. And then for some reason you have an A there. Yeah. So apply because you never put a data type in the line of the record format. Now save the changes and recompile.
Yeah, click in there. Yep.
Okay, check the commands log. And
Commissioner.
scroll down to the bottom, very last line. Yep, it was added successfully. Okay, that little X, hold on a second. That little X, the white X that you see on the right-hand side, close that X.
Yeah.
No, on the right-hand side, in the top right corner. Yep, close that X. Yep, close the other X. Yep, awesome. Now go to the window menu. Go up to the window menu. Go under Show View and choose Error Log. Okay, now drag the error log from the right-hand side and drop it next to command log. Cool, that's it. Awesome. Okay, now you can go back to that Data Explorer and refresh the tables. So right-click on the tables and refresh. Okay, do you see EMP22CK there now?
Yeah.
Okay, now right-click on that and go to Data and click on Edit. Everybody should do that step. Okay, now I will share my screen.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, so it was EMP FA22 data edit. Okay, so this is where we need to add some data. Right at the top of each column, you can see the maximum size of the values that you can enter. So for simplicity purpose, I'll be entering some basic information. Yes, you can just put 1, 2, 3, 4 in the employee IDs, somebody's name, some job title. Department IDs will also follow 10, 20, 30 format. You can come up with your department IDs. With the date, you have to be careful. Why do we have to be careful with the dates? Oh, Jack still, okay. Let me explain one thing, Jack, and then we're gonna have a look at yours. So dates must always be entered in the format YYYY hyphen DD, sorry, hyphen MM hyphen DD. Okay, so that should be the correct format for entering the dates. Okay, Jack, go ahead, share yours. Let's see.
All right. So if I were to click the database, it just, there's nothing that shows up over here.
Oh,
like at
okay.
all.
Double click on the, yeah, on the tab. Yeah. Okay. On the, okay. Click the window menu. And
Hold on.
yeah. Okay.
It's hard for me to do because the sharing, the screen sharing icon is like literally in the way. So hold on. Okay.
Okay. Window and then go to perspective, open perspective, other, and choose database development and click OK. Okay, you did that. Okay, so it didn't do anything.
What if he double clicked on the Death Star EDU tab?
Yeah. Okay. That is the okay. Now no, double click on it again. On the left-hand side, you see some icons there on the left-hand side. Yeah, so can you hover over command log, execution plan, restore, restore. No, it doesn't do anything. Okay.
If he resets, it'll fix it because that was my issue. So if you go to the database icon and then right click,
Uh-huh.
there should be a reset. And then mine showed up after that. So maybe that'll work.
Oh.
Worked for me.
Hey,
There you go. Cool. Thank you. I didn't know that either. So now you can double click on that star and then you can go from there.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I was like, uh-oh, we're about to be completely lost. Yeah.
Do you know how to get to where we are right now?
I thought I did, but I don't.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I'll let you share again.
Yeah, mine's booting me out, so I'm going back in.
Okay, open that ITPA 309. Yep. And then open tables. And then open that. Right click on fall 22JH1. Huh? Well, what happened here? Are you ITPA 309?
Yes.
Huh. Why don't you have anything else? You have created many things before.
I did delete a couple of things earlier. So if I'm missing like different files, like from older assignments.
Oh, you deleted everything? Okay. Interesting. Is he stuck?
Crashed.
Oh, maybe, and his fan is also not moving.
Exactly. No, he's really there. You can tell by the fact that the background is on fire. Okay, yeah, he's gone. You can see the flames flickering.
Yeah, mine's literally just booted me out, and then I had to boot back in, but it started right where I was, but it knocked me out for no reason. I'm running on 250 megs, so I don't know, it must be me too loud.
I don't know if you're running Spectrum. Spectrum's been having a lot of problems lately. Even though I have like 300 Mbps, my internet just randomly disconnects for like 2 seconds every now and then.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
that's
that.
happening to everyone. I've been having the same
Yeah.
thing with
Yeah,
Spectrum.
it's Spectrum. They're crap. That's why I can't wait. I know AT&T fiber's almost at my location. It should be by the end of the year, and I'm switching immediately. I'm tired of this shit. I've had them bring
Same.
technicians out and everything, and just still nothing.
I'm gonna be like Captain America and say language. He's recording.
That's good to know because I thought there was something wrong with my computer.
Nope,
And-
it's Spectrum.
Yeah, all the ups and downs look great, but something on their end's obviously messed up.
Yep. I know that they're trying to get their own fiber optic throughout Kenosha, but I think and that might be part of it, but it's inexcusable. You have one job and it's to provide stable internet, and if you can't do that, then who cares?
This is true. Good point.
And they should at least tell us if they're doing something.
Yeah, I only knew about it because I noticed a Kenosha news article in Walgreens.
So as I told you, that date of hire will be in the date format. I don't know if you guys ever saw this.
Noise.
I blame the Brits.
Yep.
Sorry for disconnecting there. My internet just literally crapped out at the
Oh,
worst
are you
time.
on Spectrum? We just had a nice long conversation about how bad Spectrum has been the last year, or the last few months, I should say.
Probably, honestly.
So did you had to restart the V2 Cloud?
Yeah.
Okay, and did you, when you went back to V2 Clouds, was the RDI already opened?
I haven't even signed in yet.
Oh, okay. So if it is already open, close it and try to open it again. And then let's see. So all your physical files are deleted?
I deleted the files that were like older assignments.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back. Okay.
Okay. You still can't see your member as turned into an object under tables?
I'm sorry, what? Okay, under tables, I see FA 2020 or FA 22JH1, which is mine. And then I have under that columns, constraints, dependencies,
Oh,
indexes, and
No,
triggers.
no, no, that's not enough. We need more information there. So
Uh,
I will let you share. And then I will let you go back to your remote system explorer by clicking on that gray tower on the left.
on the left.
Sorry, on the right, not left, right. Yeah. So, and then click in that source where you have your source code. Okay. And then go to compile option again, compile, create PF.
Oh, wait.
Okay. Go down to commands log, scroll to the bottom. Okay, so now it was added. Looks, apparently it was not added before for some reason. So now go back to the Data Explorer and right click on tables and refresh. Okay. No, on the tables. Yeah. Okay, now you have that. Now right click. No, right click just on the object. Yeah. Yep. Data. Edit. Okay, you are where I am.
Finally, thank you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I don't know why you deleted everything. It's not like you were running out of space, were you?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what got over me. To be honest.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I'm trying to add the employee name, employee job. It's just giving me an error every time I try to move to the next.
Wow. Really?
Like I entered Sam Green and then I went to add manager and it won't let me jump over. It's just giving me an error.
Yeah, because nobody will let you jump over a manager.
Right, that's true.
On where you work, okay? Let's calm down a
Share,
little bit.
share your screen, Chris.
What's that?
Share your screen. Let's see what's going on. Okay, can you enter an employee name again, please?
Sorry, hold on a second here.
Click on that max. Oops. Okay. Okay. What did you do? Okay.
Okay.
What? Every time you find new ways of amusing me.
Thank you.
Okay, the data entered does not confirm to the data type because the problem is, Chris, you made a mistake in employee name. You set the field size to 5 characters instead of 25.
Oh.
Okay, so you need to go back to the server, the RSC, right? You need to open the member again. Okay, you need to go down to the EMP name line. Click where it says EMP name and hit F4. Hit F4. Go to the source prompter and change the field length to 25. and hit enter. Now click in, right click on where it says EMP22 CKPF on the left-hand side. On the left-hand side, yep, right click on it. Okay, go to compile. Now click change PF. Okay, now hit OK. Okay, hold, just wait for it to complete the compilation process. Click the commands log at the bottom of your screen. Scroll to the bottom to make sure that it was changed successfully. It was changed. Now go back to the Data Explorer.
Sorry, where am I at? Okay.
And then close that last tab that you have opened. The very last tab. Yeah, close that. Yeah. And no. Okay. Now right click on your tables and refresh. Now open that EMP22CK, right click, data, edit. Okay, see now you have
Thank you.
right.
Okay.
Job title.
You want to hire me to be your supervisor or what? I want to make 78,000. Never mind. I want to see.
That's like what, 780,000.
Oh, that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that job myself either.
Oof.
Yeah, this is one of those supervisors that is working for Superman.
You ever watch The Boys? The show The Boys?
Boys?
Homelander, yes.
Yeah, The Boys.
No, I don't need to.
If you watch that, that's what a superhero. That's how I imagine superheroes would actually be if they were real superpowered, because they would think they're better than everybody else.
You want to see the real superheroes?
Yeah.
Real superheroes.
Nice. I'm in there too.
People who are making the difference every day.
Teachers, man, I think teachers should be
As long as they're not Homelander.
right.
So once you're done entering the data, save the changes. And when you're done saving the changes, it will run and enter all records for you, which you can confirm by right-clicking on the data object and going to data and clicking on return all rows. And it should show you everything on the bottom right-hand side corner.
Pretty cool. Cool stuff.
Now, this is what we just did is probably the most lengthiest process that we did, because we had to create an entire physical file. We had to compile it. We had to populate it with data. That takes more time than creating a logical file and making it tap into a physical file and let it borrow the data. That's much easier stuff. So I will clear your feedbacks for you to give me the new feedback once you are done entering the data.
Then when we get done, I was having a hell of a time reading the salaries on my tiny screen.
Oh, you don't have to enter the same values. Just enter
Oh, damn.
enter a value. Yeah.
Well, it's too late. I'm already done.
Okay.
What we're supposed to do after?
Just save and it automatically runs it for you. And then it should give you a blue check as it gives me at the bottom left corner of my bottom screen. And then you right click on the object and go to data again, but this time you pick return all rows.
Bottom left corner of your bottom screen.
Yeah,
Where?
do you see a little blue check?
Ah,
Okay. And then you right click on the data, go to data, and go to return all rows.
hold on. I think I have errors, but I don't know where. It's probably because I typed way too many numbers in the salary. Whatever. I'm just gonna shorten these up. My CIO now makes $20 a year.
Wow, does he works for Twitter now?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Because Elon Musk is firing people left and right.
Yep. And now they're trying to sue him, which I kind of think is funny because they're like, we didn't have time to know. And it's like, you knew he was coming like 4 months ago, and he said repeatedly he's gonna fire you all.
And he's suing the previous owners.
Yeah, because they lied to him in the papers
Bots,
saying the
yeah.
bots were only like 4% when it was probably more like 20%.
Yeah.
Where is my error?
I do have a question. So I keep getting a failed status when I try saving it.
Is that a warning, or are you getting a little red X at the bottom?
A red X.
Yeah, that's probably your data. That's what Jared is also doing. He's checking his data to see if he has entered things correctly.
Yeah, mine refuses to say I'm right though. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here.
Want to look at mine? I could share my screen if you want to see.
Okay. Oh, you got it right.
Yeah, I was showing
Oh,
him
okay,
how the data
Okay.
is set up and stuff like that.
We don't have to use the full fields, right?
No.
I mean,
I just put my own names and just did whatever.
this is how mine's set up too. It doesn't help that mine highlights in yellow instead of white.
Yeah, mine was doing that too, and it was annoying because like I couldn't see what's in the background, and then I was like, all right, I guess I'll just try to follow the same pattern, and that's what I did. So, dash between the numbers, point between the
Dash between the dates.
Yeah,
the dates,
I have dash between my dates. I have a correct number of decimal points. I have correct depth ID. It doesn't tell me what the error is, just says failed.
Do you have the 1, 2, 3, 4 here too?
Yes, I have the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, how about I will let's let Jared share his screen.
Yeah, I have the same problem. So
Oh, you have an empty row number 5.
Oh,
Okay, so
just
yeah, so right click on it and delete row. Okay,
so
now
hitting enter is what messed me up. Okay.
yeah, hit save. Yes. And then you're still failing. Okay, now can you can you scroll right in the bottom right corner where it says message 1? Okay, go all the way. Yeah, we'll wait here. Let me check something.
Did you see I was able to figure out how to make it black, by the way? Just want to point that out.
Try and do some tinkering with that. Oh, wait a minute. Search.
Your first, okay. Can you right click on your EMP FA22JS and data and click return all rows? Okay.
Okay, that worked.
Yeah, it is failing because it's a primary key, it's a unique, and you are constantly trying to enter stuff on top of that. So it won't let you enter the same employee ID multiple times. So yeah. So you can close that you can close that tab.
This one.
And say no. And then right click on it again and data and edit. So yeah, you have everything. You're fine. You're good to go.
Okay.
So Bart, you should also try the same thing. Right click on it to see if you've already entered all the data. So that's why it's not letting you enter the primary key twice.
Yeah, I just did that, and I did exactly what he did. I had the same problem. So
okay. Is it fixed now?
yeah, it looks like it's
Okay,
fixed.
cool, awesome. So again, let me share my screen here. Okay, so well, I still don't see green checks from. Okay, so Jared got it, Bart. Okay, so Chris, you're good. Okay, okay. Jack, Jacob, and Samantha.
Are you supposed to right click on the check mark now, or?
Yeah, for some reason mine's not saved.
For some reason, yours what?
For some reason mine isn't saving. It just says save failed.
Okay, did you do what everybody else I asked everybody to do? Right click on the object and go to data and click on return all rows. Maybe it's already inserted once.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm just blind. You're right.
Okay, cool, awesome. So you can close that tab. It will give you a warning. Do you want to not save any changes? Say, no, I don't want to save any changes. And you should be good to go. Okay, so next, what we will do is we will switch back to the Remote System Explorer. And in the Remote System Explorer, we'll close this tab, the data tab. We don't need it anymore. So we can just see the physical file object, a member code, okay? Now, in the next item, which will be a logical file, we want to use the same record format name. If yours is the same as mine, then no problem. But I want everybody to make a note of your record format name if it is different from mine, just so that, because it's important. If yours is different from mine, then your code will fail because it must match. The next step would be our logical file record format name must match the physical file record format name. So you right click on your source physical file again and go to new member. Go to new member. Once you are in the source member, let's give this member a name, EMP.
Wait, what did you? I'm sorry.
So again,
where do I go?
you right click. Are you in the Remote System Explorer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so right click on your source physical file, go to new member.
This is the one that we just created, right?
Yeah, the one in the background
not
is
the
the one
member.
that we created. Now we're creating a new member.
Why is not giving me the new option?
22, your initials 1. That's what he's telling you to right click, not the member itself.
Yeah. On the left-hand side, where you see your source physical file, FA22, your initials 1, right click on that and go to new member.
Okay, new member. Got you.
Okay. So the name of the member is EMPFA initials LF1. EMPFA, your initials, LF.
FA, no 22?
No,
Just FA?
no 22.
Oh, dang, sorry.
Okay. So EMPFA initials LF1. And then make sure in the choose from member type, you press L to go to LF. So the member type should be LF. Once both items are there, the member name and the member type should be LF. After that, you hit finish. I'm waiting
DRF.
to avoid the situation of, hold on a second, what did you just do? So, because I won't be able to reproduce this screen. Okay, so I'm assuming everybody was able to hit finish. So I'm gonna hit finish. Now on the very first line, you press F4. In the name type, you choose R. Now notice you have far more letters in the logical files when you drop down the name type, because this is a logical file. It has other capabilities. So here in the name of the record, I'll type this exact same name that I have in my physical file. In the functions, I will call the function P file, which I told you about when we were going through the chapter and we were going through my PowerPoint, that we have to call a function P file in which we will mention the name of the physical file from where I want this to borrow the data. So EMP FA22, your initials. Now that was the name of the physical file, and hit enter. So what does that line say? That line says, I'm creating a record format for my logical file. The name of the record format is exactly the same as it's in the physical file. And this is the physical file where you can find this record format. Save the changes and compile. You could also right-click on the member and you can compile from here as well. Notice it only lets you create the LF. It doesn't let you change the LF. So go ahead and click create LF. And then check your commands log and scroll to the very bottom of the commands log for it to tell you that the logical file was created. Once the logical file is created, switch back to the Data Explorer. Don't check in the tables.
One second, sir. After you do the PF file and you save it, you compile again, you said?
Not compile again, compile only once.
So okay.
So I'm getting an error and I think.
Again, already I just wrote one line, Chris, come on.
No, but it didn't, okay, sorry.
I'm just kidding, come on. Are you getting a syntax error or are you getting a different kind of an error?
Correct the error and then try the request again. The error message should be listed. Sorry. So,
Share your screen. Let's see. You know, I mean, there are all sorts of errors that could be generated.
sorry.
Okay. Scroll down. Okay. Oops. Okay. Hold on a second. You know what, Chris? You left a space after the E and P file. So can you click on the very first line and click on the very first line and
Yeah.
then go to source prompt, source prompter.
Where am I here?
At the bottom, do you see source prompter next to commands log? Yeah.
Yeah.
And delete that space after the word P file in the functions. Yeah, you should never leave space between the function name and the parentheses.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Hit apply. Okay. Save the changes and compile again. Oh, you have to click in the source code and then compile, create LLs. Okay. Okay, you still have one error. Okay. Now, can you switch back to your emp22ck.pf tab, which is, yeah, click on that.
Is it because I don't have the FA there?
Hold on a second. Click that. Okay. Okay, now switch back to the other tab. Okay, what FA are you talking about?
It's EMP22CK.
Yeah, exactly. So you should use the exact same file name. So can you go back to your source prompter? No, source prompter.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so go under P file and you got to use EMP22CK. Yeah. So you must try to match your names. Okay. So now hit enter again or apply and then save the changes and compile. Okay, now check your commands log. Scroll to the bottom, you're good.
Okay, thank you.
So these little things, these little mistakes that you guys make in the classroom help you not make those mistakes outside of the classroom, because those are little things that we assume from other softwares that it's okay to leave a white space. Then, you know, you run into the problem here because you can't really leave white spaces wherever. Okay, now that you are in the Data Explorer, make sure you collapse your tables and then open views. And you should find that EMP-FA. Let me right click and refresh. And then okay. So I have EMP-FA initials LF1. So initially it did not show it for me. So I had to right click on the views and refresh, and then it showed. I will right click on it, go to data and return all rows. And notice I get everything because I use the same record format name. It just gave me everything from my logical file. So everybody got this?
Yep.
Mine didn't show up.
When I hit the collapse arrow at first for views, the views folder like completely disappeared, but refreshing it fixed it, luckily.
Okay. Desmond, yours compiled correctly, right?
It did, but it For some reason, it's not coming up.
Can you share your screen?
Sure.
Recompiling it again, just like mine did.
Okay, you're checking in the wrong place. You're checking under tables. I asked close the tables,
Okay.
close the tables tab, on the left-hand side. You see tables on the left?
Yeah.
Yes, close that. Open views.
Very
View.
bottom.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah, there it
Yep.
is.
Yep. Right click on view on the view, go to data and return all rows. Okay.
Sorry about that thing. I guess I missed that.
Alex, you good?
Yep, good.
Okay. Jack,
Jack's a ghost.
Yeah, what's up?
no, you got it? We can't hear you. You got muted. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I was stretching my legs, but yeah, I got it.
Okay. Okay, Jonah, Ethan, and Samuel.
No, I was not able to get it.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot to check mark.
Are you getting error in your logical file compilation or what? Ethan.
No, it's not like there's no arrow next to view for me to like have drop down options.
Okay, did you right click on the views and refresh?
Now I did, yeah.
Okay.
Data return.
Yep. Now right click on it and you can go to data and return all rows, correct? Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Okay, guys, let's take a short break here till 8:05, and then we will work a little bit more with logical files. Okay, so in the Remote System Explorer, in the previous logical file, you click the File menu, hit Save As, change that number 1 to a number 2, and click OK. So what this will do, it will create another member with a different name under the same source physical file. So just like saving as a regular file, right, on a regular computer, that's exactly what we're doing. The reason why I did that, because this will help me only make the changes and I don't have to reinvent the wheel from the beginning. Now, this is another reason somebody would use a logical file. So create a new line. And I want to generate a different key than the key defined in the physical file. Instead of employee ID, I want to have a key on employee name. So go down in the second line in the source prompter, second line, source prompter. What's going on? Okay, let me close this somehow. It's not getting, okay, and reopen it.
So how did you save it off of that?
I just, the previous one, I hit the file menu and I hit save as. And I changed the 1 to a 2 and hit OK.
I'm getting an error before, it looks fine, but it's showing uncaught exceptions in class. That makes sense?
Okay. Can you share your screen, please?
Sorry.
It's all good, Chris. We all struggle, man.
Thanks.
I mean, these are different errors that you probably could run into them outside of the class. I'm glad we are running into these in the class so that we can see how to solve these problems. Okay, don't worry about that, Chris.
Okay.
Okay, as long as the member was created, yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Now, on the second line, there's one more thing you have to be careful about. Sometimes, as you guys are experiencing that spectrum issue, so sometimes what happens is you hit File Save As, and the internet was disconnected behind the scene while you were in the process and connects back, and you are under the assumption that the member was created, but the member was never created. And how can you check? If the member was created, the member will show up in the list of the source physical file member list on the left-hand side. Okay, so the member that we saved as, can you all see that member name in that source physical file? EMPFA, your initials LF2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's one thing. Just make sure anytime you're doing a save as, because sometimes students don't check that, and then they go to the compile state and it just doesn't compile. And they're like, everything is correct. Why is it not compiling? Rather, it complains, says the object not found. So that's one thing to check to make sure that the member was actually created. Okay.
So should we be clicked on the 2?
Say it again.
EMP FAD LF2? Is that what we're supposed to be on?
Yes, 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 yes. So if in case you save as and the member doesn't shows in the list, then close the tab, open the previous member again, and save as again. Okay. So now let's go to the new line, and on the new line, let's create a new key. So I will now be putting a key on EMP name. Okay. So EMP name. And save the changes. And compile.
It says I have a unhandled event loop exception.
Where? In the error list?
In the error log, yeah.
Okay. Wow, this is the most number of strangest errors I'm seeing.
We don't even have events or loops for that matter.
Yeah,
Wait, what? Huh?
go ahead, share your screen. Let's see. But again, you know, it's okay to see them now versus having to see them outside of the class. Oh, again, do not worry about the error log. We are only concerned about error list. Okay, so you can even close the error log if you want to. That's exactly what Chris was having too. So just close the error log. Yeah, that's it. As long as you don't have errors in error list, you're good to go.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's okay. Again, you know, stuff to know now than having to worry about it in the week, during the week. So once you compile this successfully, you check the commands log to make sure that the logical file was created successfully, switch over to the Data Explorer and right click to refresh the views. And then when you right click on this new logical file that you have created and you return all rows, everything works exactly the same way, no difference. But behind the scene, everything is running on employee name as a key.
All right, mine's sorry, mine's didn't. It doesn't want to let me enter it.
Doesn't want you to enter it. What do you mean?
Neither.
Enter.
Yeah,
So I'm in the
Yeah,
prompt screen on
same.
the second line, I hit enter and it just doesn't add it. I also hit apply, doesn't add it. It's not adding it to the file at all.
Oh, so you are still in the source code.
Yes,
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Share your screen
got you.
and I will guide one of you through the process and rest of you can fix it that way. Oh, okay. Yeah, I had the same problem too. Easy fix.
Okay.
Close the tab.
This one?
Yeah. Say yes. Okay. Now double click and reopen the tab. Okay. Go to the second line. And here you go. That's it. So now under name type, choose K.
Okay, yeah.
And then under the name type EMP name. hit enter, save changes, and
Yeah, that
compile.
was the same issue I had.
And that's how you will fix it.
And then you compile it.
Yeah, and compile it. And then once it compiles, you go to the Data Explorer. Data Explorer is that blue? Yep, blue cylinders. Yep. And then you right click on your views and refresh your views. And then you right click on that newly added view and you go to data and return all rows. Awesome. Cool.
Thank you.
That's it. Okay. Now, once you have checked that in the Data Explorer, switch back to Remote System Explorer. Now in the Remote System Explorer, click File Save As and save this as LF3. The first thing we will do after the save process is done, we want to make sure that LF3 shows up in the list under the source physical file. Okay, always check that. Once it shows up in the list, go to the end of the first line and hit enter. So we create a blank line between the first line and the previous second line, which is now third line. We go to the source prompter. Okay. Now, again, it's doing the same problem. I'll save it, close it. I don't know why RDI is doing this, and open it again. Now I want to select only some of the fields. I don't want to return everything. I only want the employee name and employee job. So I'm gonna now start listing the fields that I want only the employee name, and I want the employee job. That's it. So I only list those two fields on two lines. Same process. Once you're done, you save the changes, you compile. And then you go to the Data Explorer, refresh the views, return all rows. But this time, when you return all rows, so refresh the views and then return all rows on the LF3. And now when you return all rows, you will see that you're only getting the data from the two fields. You're not getting all four fields because we limited our view to only see the two fields. So it's up to you. Whatever you want to get is basically how you select the fields. Everybody got this?
Yep.
Okay, Alex?
No,
No?
this last one will compile. I don't know why.
It is asking you to do what?
The third one won't compile. The rest of them were fine, which is weird because they're all basically the same.
Okay, what is it saying? Like, is it like giving you an error on compilation?
Yeah, it says.
Can you share your screen? Alex?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, share your screen so that, you know. Sometimes it happens so that you might have named your field slightly differently than me. Oh, see, you misspelled
Yep, I
name.
got it again. Thank you.
So hit F4
Yeah, wait. I
or
waited
click
till
in
you
the, yeah, and then, yeah, enter. Yeah, and now save and, oh, you got to click in the source. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Okay,
Thank you.
cool. You're fine. You're fine. You're good. Just check in your data explorer to see if you can only see those two data fields. Anybody else having issues? All good? Cool. Okay. Now we are back to Remote System Explorer. Make sure you switch back to Remote System Explorer and save it as LF4. I'll just close the tab and double click to reopen it. For some weird reason, RDI is not refreshing it without me having to close and reopen the tab. But now what I want to do is I want to display the employee name, the job, and the salary, but in a different order. In the actual physical file, salary is after the job, but I want to display the salary before the job. I can do that in the logical file. So I do not have to follow the same order of fields in the logical file that they are in the physical file. So just make that one brief change, save the changes, compile, and check the data file. And you can see that the salary is shown between the name and the job. Okay, everybody got that? Nobody has any questions so far, right? Or
Hard to believe.
no, I'm just asking before I move ahead and then somebody is behind. But you know, I mean, like the more you do stuff, the more you get hang of it, and then you learn to solve some of these problems on your own, and you don't have to ask for that. So it just, you know, it just builds your confidence the more problems you solve. As we say in Java development, if you haven't made 40,000 unique errors in Java, you are not a Java developer yet.
About 20,000 of them will be spelling errors.
So now let's look at our next topic.
When you don't realize it's an error.
Oh, there is an error?
When there's a spelling error and you don't even realize that it's spelled incorrectly, that's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have to sift through 400 lines of code to find out that you forgot a semicolon on line 400 out of a 200 line document.
talking to me about that when he was doing programming in high school. He decided to write some really long code to do something, and then he spent 5 hours trying to find the semicolon he missed.
The bracket too.
Better than COBOL errors, which basically are like if you miss a period, it just gives you like 20 errors. Anyway, so on page number 338, this is figure 8.6, which I'm also sharing with you on the screen here. There is one difference between what you see on the screen and the example that you did prior to this one or saw prior to this one in the book, and that is the very last line. So we can use certain operators in physical files to eliminate some rows. For example, here the S means select. I want to select the department field. And in the department field, I want to select only those records where the value equals sales. That's what the comp is. Comp is used as a comparison, short for comparison. Okay, it's a function. EQ is for equals. And sales is the value that in every record, it will check for the value of department. If the department equals sales, it will select that record. If the department doesn't equal sales, it will not select the record. Okay. Now you may ask, okay, what other operators are available? Then for that, you would have to turn to page 339 and you can see the list of all the operators. You might have seen some of these operators in programming. For those of you who are taking C#, you have greater than, equals to, greater than, less than, equals to, not equals to. But here, everything is spelled like abbreviated than symbolic. That's one thing to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind in this example over here, that the value in single quotes is case sensitive. So if you had sales in all uppercase and you're trying to match with sales like mixed case, like the way it is over here, it will come back with 0 records found. So that's one thing you have to be careful about, that you write your expression in the similar fashion as it will be working. Okay. Now
Can you select multiple, like if I did comp X sales and then comp X sales in all caps, would that work as well?
Again, we will get to it. It's little too early. You may have to wait till next week maybe for that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm purposely going very slow, guys. I know sometimes we get excited, but I don't want to introduce too many things. So now, if you want to see a couple more examples in the book, they're not in the slides, on page number 340, which is 2 pages from figure 8.6, you will see another example with dates, where the example goes like this, that we still use S for selection, but the field we use is hire date, right? Hire date. And then we still use comp. And then we say, I want to select all those records where hire date is greater than, equals to, and then you put a date in the ISO format. So it will, so you can compare against numeric values, you can compare against character values, and you can also compare against date values. Okay. So now we will put this to practice in the next few logical files that we will create. We will be working with the comp operator. So let me minimize this for now. And let's save this as LF5. And click OK.
Did we even do anything to LF4?
We compiled it and we saw the output.
Oh, okay.
And we saw that the salary field was being displayed between the name and the job. So now with the LF5, I'll just close the tab and reopen the tab. And now go to the very last line. Okay. The very last line. And
Hold
now,
on, give me 1 second. Mine won't let me get that my file. Like the screen is just not allowing me to stretch it over there for some reason.
it's not allowing you to do what?
I can't get where it says file, so I have to save it. It's weird.
Okay. Share your screen. I'm not sure what you're saying. For sure.
See, it's up here, but I don't know why it's not allowing me to get to it. Like it's letting me get to the other screen.
Oh, because you are in the Data Explorer. You have to go to Remote System Explorer. You click on the, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
well, still, it's not there.
Okay. Oh, your file menu is not there. So move your, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Okay.
I
So,
don't know what was that.
okay.
That's weird. Let me go to 5, right?
Yeah. 5 and click OK. Maybe you want to close the tab and reopen
Okay,
it.
like what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You know, yeah, that's fine. You know,
Let me save that.
for a moment, I thought that your screen was hit by her, but no, okay.
Let it go, man. Let it go.
I'm not even
Oh,
gonna.
yeah.
I'm not even gonna mark that tree up, man. I'm gonna mark up that tree. I'm gonna leave that just as it is.
No, I mean, like, just so that you know, you should never give her a balloon. She will let it go.
Oh. There it is. The coordinates just came out.
Yes.
Okay, so now we go to the very last line and you go to the source prompter and you go to S. This time under name type, you select S and we choose salary field. In the functions, we type comp. Remember not to leave a space between the P and the opening parentheses. And we are now saying that I want to select all those employees who are making greater than. For greater than, I'll use GT, and then I'll put a dollar amount, let's say 150,000. I'm going with my dollar amount. You guys can go with whatever dollar amount your data is, because some of you hired managers for $20.
$20 for the CFO.
Oh yeah, CFO. Yeah, right. Yeah. So
Obviously a different currency.
I don't know. Is it like gold coins?
They were really easy to bring on. I don't know why.
So you save the changes and then you compile. And then after it compiles successfully, go to the Data Explorer and refresh the views. And return all rows. So this time you will only see those people's records. And see, this is the example of where you have selected a few fields and some records. So you can only see 3 fields about only those employees who are making more than that amount.
Is there a way to like just have the data field, the data in one table and the other one? I kind of want to like, I don't know, a quick way to get back to that data and put in the correct salary.
Oh, you want to, oh, so you can go back to tables and you can locate that source physical file object from where you're borrowing the data, which is EMP FA22, right? You right click on it, you go to data and you click on edit. And then you edit the salaries of all of them or whoever one, whichever one you want, and then save the changes. So it will run the update on it.
Mine's just doing the same thing again. I don't know why it's not letting me get to that spot. I can't get the data. The data. It's like the screen is pulled to one side, but it won't let me access that side. It's weird.
It is not letting you get.
I got it. I got it.
Okay. Okay.
So go to data, you said, and then refresh views.
Otherwise, you know, if you were not able to get to that spot, I would have asked you to contact him. You know who that is?
No.
That's a famous cartoon character called Spotty.
Oh my God. Wow. All right, Spotty. I got it, Spotty.
For some reason, mine won't let me compile anything. Like,
Okay, let's
Like, I
have a look
can't-
at it.
Did you make sure it clicked into the code before you hit compile?
yeah, well, the compile just does not show up. Like, I don't have a button for that.
Let me move this out of the way. Okay. So go back to your logical file. Oh, can you right click? Can you click on the Data Explorer again? Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. You see, it's the same problem you're having. You saved the LF4 as LF5, but you never checked to make sure that it shows in the list. See, LF5 is not even showing for you in the list. So
Yes.
LF5 was never created. So hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Because
Hold
I've
on
done
a
that
second.
like 8 times.
Hold on a second. Close the tab. First, close the tab. Okay. Now double click on LF4. Okay. Now click File Save As.
Oh, did it not take the first time?
No, it did not. That's what I'm saying. Always after you save as, check to make sure that it took it. So now change that 4 to a 5 and click OK. Okay. Now you see the 5 appeared in the list. Now close the
Okay.
tab, close
Sorry
the
about
tab and double click to reopen the 5. Okay, so now the other thing I noticed that you did wrong was you wrote your selection statement above the key, which would have given you an error, by the way, if you would have compiled it. So the selection must go after the key.
Oh.
Okay.
What's this? Salary.
Mine isn't letting me edit the data. Like I can't add or change the data.
Are you trying to edit the logical file or are you trying to edit the physical file?
The logical file.
Logical files are only snapshots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you want to update the data, you should update it in the physical file because logical file is just borrowing the data. It doesn't hold anything.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So when you reference a physical, like a field in a physical file, are you actually like adding that in to your other one when you do that, or?
What do you mean?
So you know how you put in what was it? In the field, the prompt you can do reference and you reference a data. So under reference,
Oh,
when
are you trying to ask me what we learned in the past about referencing?
Yeah, so that's
Okay,
basically,
so
you're adding to it, right? From
there is
another
there is a big difference between this and referencing, because when you reference, the referencing mean that I am borrowing the description of the fields, not the data. I'm borrowing the description of the field, but during compile time, copy all that description in my physical file object and then disconnect the two.
Okay,
Here, you are borrowing the data and the description.
okay,
Okay, so the physical file, logical file object simply just holds what I can display. And during runtime, it just asks the physical file, okay, I am bound to only display 3 fields. So give me all the records where salary exceeds 150,000. So physical file will query and give that result set over to the logical file for it to display to the user.
Almost like it takes a picture and show you this is this here.
Exactly. On every request, it takes a snapshot and passes it over.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why logical files automatically update and show you the most up-to-date data when the physical file data changes. Okay, is everybody done with this one now? Okay, so we will now save this one as number 6. And I'll just close it. Oh, in the Remote System Explorer though. Go to the Remote System Explorer when you are making these changes, okay? So in the Remote System Explorer, then get to that number 6 item. Now I will do something on line number 6. And that is, I want to select all those records where department ID is equal to 10. Okay. Department ID is equals to 10. Okay, and this will give me an error. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys the error and then I'll show you the fix. So first, come this far to generate this error message.
So you want us to change the salary to that department?
Yes, yes. So you will change your last line criteria in the number 6 to instead of selecting those records with salary exceeding 150,000, now I want to select all those records where department ID is 10. Save the changes and compile. You will get that one error that I'm getting, and I want you to see the error, and then we will fix it. So by the way, the spotty that I was talking about before, I don't know, I seem like a lot of you are unaware of this cartoon character. This is from the cartoon Super Ted. that was aired in my times. That Desmond knows I'm from the times of Einstein. So
Super
I thought it
chat,
was
huh?
Gumby.
probably that's why I think none of you have heard about this cartoon.
Mm.
See, we're talking
I-
about it yesterday, right? When I witnessed
You
Edison
said you were
producing
from
his bulb.
Edison's time.
Yeah. See, I told you, I witnessed Edison producing his first bulb. So yeah. To Bell Graham making his first bell and saying hello. This was just right after that. Anyway, so now that we are having this error message, the reason we are having this error message because the field that you use in the selection must be listed part of the logical file. So if you list bunch of fields, but you include some other field in the selection criteria, because it's always looking at what's available before it goes to the logical physical file and say, okay, give me this. That's why we will now go up to line number 4, and we will now add department ID as an additional field in the list of the fields we have. And now we will recompile this. And this time it will go through without a problem. So you need to add the field in the list of the fields, the one that you are using in the selection criteria.
Hold on, I'm gonna need you to go back with that with me in like 1 second. My internet cut out again.
Okay, so all I said was that we were getting an error before because we were selecting department ID in the selection criteria and we never listed it as one of the fields in selection. So
Okay.
to fix that, I went to the end of the line with employee job and hit enter and included department ID to be one of the fields in the logical files, and that should fix the problem.
Okay.
I still got an error.
Okay, I can have a look at it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you forgot to give a space after the letter Q and the single quotes. So click on that line and go to the prompt.
I thought you said no space.
I said no space between P and the parentheses, but over there you have to give a space so that it knows EQ is the operator and 10 is the value.
Cool.
You have to click in the source code and then compile.
Been doing that right all the while, and now that you're watching me, I didn't do it.
Okay.
Yep, we did.
Mhm. Okay, so you compile that successfully. You go to the views. You refresh the views. And you return all rows. Okay, so for me, there's only one person working in department 10. So if you see no records, that means you have nobody working in department 10. It's not like you made a mistake. It's like nobody in the data set meets the criteria. That's what it means. Okay. Now let's switch back to Remote System Explorer. And we will save this as number 7. And we want to make sure that it's saved as 7 in the list. So I'll just close the tab and reopen. Okay. This time I want to work with a date field. So also I don't need all these fields. So I will get rid of the employee job. So how do I delete a line? I
You
go
put
into,
D.
yep, I have to click in the columns and I type D1 on the line that I want to get rid of. As you can see on my screen, where I wrote D1 in pink, and then you hit enter and that line disappears. Okay. Now I will replace the department ID line with DOH, which is date of hire. So I replaced the department ID line with DOH, and I will now change my selection criteria that select all those employees where date of hire is less than 2022 January 1st. That means anybody who was hired before 2022 is I want to select them. That's what it means. In other words, so select all those people who were hired before 2022. So we save the changes and compile. And refresh the views and run. So for me, there are 2 people that I have who were hired before 2022. Again, you know, some of you may have a question if I want to select people who were hired between certain dates. I mean, again, we'll look at those operators, but not tonight.
So if you mistyped the year here and you compiled it, you would have to create a new file. You couldn't edit it and recompile.
Oh, this is how you do it. Good question. You first of all, right click on the current logical file and hit drop on it. Once you do that, then you go back to your XSE and then you compile it again because it was dropped. You could create it again after you make the changes, and then you can view it again. So you have to drop the object before you can make changes and recompile it. Right.
Thank you.
What does LT stand for? I
Less
just missed
than.
that part. Okay.
Less than, yeah. And remember, all of these operators are on page 339 in the book, which is right after figure 8.6.
LP's left trigger, bro.
I hope you guys are not feeling that I'm going too slow.
On the on that note, I think you were going at a good pace where we could understand, and you're very patient with how you're dealing with us. So, no, at least that's my opinion.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for your patience. Appreciate it.
No problem. I mean, that's why I'm going slower and doing little things. And that's why I'm asking, because, you know, it's possible that somebody would be like, man, we only did like 4 lines, 4 new stuff in the whole 3 hours that I was with you. But the thing is this, that these lines that you are seeing now, they will be with you till you graduate from the programs. You will constantly be creating physical files, logical files, almost every semester. That's why this book, the Enterprise IBM Mastering IBM I book, will be with you every semester, almost every semester. You will have to, anytime you take an IBM course, you would have to go back to this book to refresh on some of the concepts. So it's not like, you know, you'll be done with it and you are never looking back at it. So in spring, when you take the control language class, you will again be using green screen and RDI, and you will be taking those commands that you learn and writing programs. And then moving on to the fall of 2023, you'll be learning RPG-1. Again, in RPG-1, you'll be using RDI, green screen, and then you'll make RPG talk to the physical files and the logical files. Then you take advanced RPG in the fall and spring of 2024. Again, same stuff. Then in the fall of 2024, you probably will also be taking the DB2 UDB programming, which is, we'll be doing a little bit of DB2 towards the end of this class, but then that's the entire course on the IBM database. Again, you're coming back to green screen and not RDI in particular, maybe a little bit of RDI, but you'll also be learning another tool called Run SQL Script. So you're constantly coming back to it. It's just not like a one-time deal. So on the Blackboard, besides the notes, you have a couple of YouTube video links. You have the YouTube video tutorials, and I did not get to dynamic select today. I'll cover that next week, but I have the video there. We did do the comp keyword today. We did not do the omit. We did not do the range. We did not do the values. We didn't do the ors and the ands. So I just made this whole list available because I didn't know how far I'll be going. So don't get overwhelmed that, oh my God, he gave me so much and he did not teach me any of this.
To be fair, omit seems kind of self-explanatory.
It's just the opposite of select. So if you, so select, for example, if you want to omit everybody but department 10. So instead of select, you omit. If you want to select everybody with department 10, you use select. So, I mean, like, again, you know, when we get to that, you probably may get a little bit more. So now this time I removed the punching bag, plus Desmond told me remove the punching bag. So I removed the punching bag from review.
What did I? Did I say that? I just said you.
Yeah, you don't seem to be like, you don't seem like a guy who would be punching bags. I said, yeah, I only punch them digitally. So that's why I said, okay, I'm gonna change this punching back to somebody who's like me, you know?
Yeah, read books and coffee. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, coffee and a book, and yeah, absolutely like me. And then I wanted you to have some excitement about the assignment. So that's me. You know, the only thing is that I am just coming through the book. Yeah. Yeah. So this week, what I would like you to do is create a physical file member with the following fields. I've given you the description. And then create another physical file called books. This is the field length, and that's a description. Okay. And then I want you to insert. So the first one is publisher, right? So I want you to insert the following data in the publisher and following data in the books. And you know how to insert data, right? You go to the data explorer, right click on the physical file, right? So I want you to do that exercise. And as a closeout, you'll create a logical file named book info, which will display these 3 fields from the book. So instead of all fields, you'll only display title, author, and pages. So along the same lines that we did at today's example, that we created a physical file, we populated with some data, and then we wrote a logical file that viewed some of the fields. Again, I did not include it select because, again, I wanted to keep it a little bit simpler than what we did. Next week, the assignment will include selection, maybe some more operators. But for this week, that's what you have to do. 2 members, each 2 physical file members, each will have data. So you are giving me screenshots of your source codes. You're giving me screenshots of your logical file. And you will give me a screenshot of your data, that when you run your data in the Explorer, and then you just give me the screenshot of this little window in the bottom right corner that your data was entered, and you can see it. So how many screenshots you'll give me? 6. For each member, you'll give me 1 screenshot. So once you're done creating your logical file, you run your logical file, you give me a screenshot of the logical file as well as the source code. Physical file, it's source code. So there are 2 physical files. So, and each one of them have data. So there are four screenshots for them and 2 screenshots for the logical files. Again, this would be a way for you to practice a little bit more. And yeah. Any questions?
No, not from me at least.
Seem pretty straightforward. And it's your choice, you know, guys. I'm not forcing anybody to do this in RDI. It's totally your choice if you want to do it in RDI or you want to do it in green screen. It's totally up to you. So those are the 2 items to work on during this week, and that's all for tonight then.